Hello, 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 and welcome everyone today to the Kelly's Choice 5th Annual Global Cerebral Palsy 2022 One Day Only Summit. I'm excited. I'm excited for the guests we have today. Y'all, let's get started and get educated and bring some awareness on today. Okay, so our first guest today is Brianna Edwards, and I'm gonna introduce her with some of the things that I know and some of the things that she shared with me. Okay, so Brianna was born with cerebral palsy and scoliosis. Throughout her life, Brianna was has successfully navigated through the systems to promote her abilities instead of focusing on her disabilities. Like we always say, let's diss the abilities. Okay. Let's diss because it's abilities, because that's what it is with her, y'all. Okay.
Yes,
Brianne hopes her story will motivate others throughout the world, even if it's just one person. Shelly, one person, even if it's just one person. Glory be to God for doing what he has called her to do. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all going to hear some good stuff. So before we get started, let's do this, okay? Because this, for me, it fits a lot of her. For help. I hear people staring back at me with the strength of my heart and will to fight. Love is where I find my peace, but I gotta believe, gotta keep pressing on, gotta raise my hands and don't give up because that's what makes me strong. So I gotta believe. Okay, I do own the rights to that song. Okay, so I wanted that part to play because a lot of times people talk about folks staring. They talk about folks staring. When you have an individual like Brian that don't care about folks staring, but yet focus on what she see and her destiny, that don't matter because if she focused on the folks staring and the folks in the world, she wouldn't be where she's at today. So society don't know no better, and that's why we got to educate them and bring awareness to them. So instead of focusing on people staring at you, keep pushing through. Keep pushing through, keep fighting. Don't ever give up, and trust yourself. Trust yourself with everything that you have. Because at the end of the day, it's your journey. This is your journey and your story. Okay. So that part there, it made me, really think of her, and I wanted to share that with her. So thank y'all so much. And let's get started. I was getting ready to start singing again. Y'all know I can't sing, but if y'all been listening to me for the past few years, I'll get to singing my little version of this song, making a joyful noise. Y'all know that's what I always say. Make a joyful noise. Brian, thank you so much for
yes,
joining me. I truly appreciate you. I appreciate you.
absolutely.
Uh, I've been following you, and your journey is so amazing. Just amazing. So I shared a little bit, but I'm gonna let you do a little bit more introduction before we get started on all things COVID, the pandemic, because I know you got some wonderful things to share with people about the pandemic, and then we get into your personal journey. So go ahead.
Absolutely. Um, as you started off by thanking me, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on your broadcast. And I also want to give God thanks for allowing me to have the voice, even for those that are voiceless. I know that she read briefly about me, but I want to give you guys a little bit more. My name is Brion Edwards, and I was born with cerebral palsy and scoliosis. For y'all that don't know what cerebral palsy is, it's a non progressive brain injury that happens at birth. Um, I find myself educating people on that daily. And people ask me often, how does something happen at birth? And instead of going into all of the semantics, I simply just tell people I had a stroke while being in my mother's womb. Scoliosis is where the spine is either curved into a C shape or an S. So if you don't know much about it, research and information is always good. Um, I know you said all things pandemic, and in my mind, and what God dropped on me since you asked me to come on your show and speak was surviving the pandemic with a disability. And oftentimes, honestly speaking, I don't even say disability, I say different ability because I'm able to do everything and some just different than other people. So, again, I just love to bring people into my life and let them know and understand, as well as seeing what it is that I deal with and do on a daily basis just to get where I am today. So, again, thank you for having me on your show, and thank you for the encouraging words that you always give me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you use my word, and everybody that know me know I'm always famous for different abilities because everybody is different in their own unique way. There is
Hmm.
no one like person at all, at all. So you're absolutely right. And you know what you said, a lot of people, you know, different abilities because you may not do it like I do it. You just going to do a little bit different. But you know what? That brings it back to when people talk about normal. What is normal? What is normal
Hmm.
when it comes to people? When it comes to people, what is normal? Every single person with a condition or no condition does things different.
Hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
so all things pandemic in the disability community. Go ahead, Brion, and take over. And the floor is yours, honey. I'm a just let you have the floor.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Um, for me, excuse me, for me,
Oh Lord, I'm the wrong
learning
person to
how.
do it. Girl, I took you down and put me up.
Oh no, no, I seen it. That's why I paused. I'm like, okay, maybe she's trying to figure it out, and that's even okay too. Um, Surviving a pandemic with a disability. When I tell you guys, for me, that speaks more than one volume. When I got the call that we were in a crisis, I instantly started having anxiety. It felt like my world was getting ready to turn upside down yet again after fighting so hard to come out of isolation. Knowing that I would have to come back into isolation, I was just like, no, this can't be happening. I just got comfortable with being in society and allowing them to see me for who I am up close in person. I'm not ready for a pandemic. And even while I was saying what I wasn't ready for, God let me know you're not the only person that's getting ready to have to go into isolation. I'm getting ready to bring people into your world so they'll know what it's like to sit down at home and sometimes not have nothing to do but think about all of the things that they've been through. And I'm just like, okay, now I'm not alone. Now I'm not alone. But then when I would go home and I would sit there, it was more so like I was by myself. So although he told me I wasn't alone, I still felt alone. I still felt alone. And he had to download a number of things in me in order for me to believe in him and less of me. I thank him every day, over and over and over and over again. for simply creating me. And, I just want to encourage as well as educate as many people as I possibly can. As she read in my bio, if I can just encourage or help somebody, whether it's one person or two, to believe in who you are, no matter what your situation or your limitations are. Believe in you. Um, I had to stop working once the pandemic hit. And that was one of the hardest things for me to do because I was used to being able to go into work and helping other people. So to have to be sitting at home day in and day out, I began to slip into depression. I began to deal with anxiety every day. I had begun to not be able to eat. I couldn't sleep. I honestly couldn't even think straight. I'll be completely vulnerable with you guys. I couldn't even think straight. It had gotten so bad for me while in this crisis. Um, I I took a whole bottle and a half of muscle relaxers, and I'm sure anyone and everyone that's watching this show know what muscle relaxers do. So imagine taking a bottle and a half of muscle relaxers. No one was at home with me. No one had known what I did or anything. I just said, Lord, you could take me out right now because I know that I'm not going to survive this crisis. I know that I'm not. And when I tell you guys, even while taking all of that medicine, my body would not allow me to rest. I couldn't go to sleep like I wanted to or any of that. And I believe it was because I told God, allow this medicine to put me sleep to where I'll never wake up again, because I got tired of struggling and facing isolation. I was simply just tired. And I to be honest with you guys, I OD'd and I didn't die. And the chance that I actually did get to go to sleep, God showed me, you either can do this and your family have to bury you,
Oh, they are sure.
or you can choose the other side.
I was getting mad.
And
I know.
for me, of course, I didn't choose death. I chose the other side. And the other side was he crowned me before he cleaned me. So I always give him honor, thanks, and glory, because even in my mess, he turned it into a miracle. So I can't complain. I can't complain. And although it was hard transitioning back into isolation, when I tell you guys, God has literally opened doors that I prayed for even when I was a little girl. And it's funny how it's happening. God say you ask and you shall receive. And everything that I asked him for from 4 years old till now is happening in divine order. It's honestly happening in the order that I prayed for it in. So to be here and being able to tell my story to you guys today, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. No, I don't look at my different ability and belittle myself anymore. I don't look at my different abilities and feel bad anymore. I don't look at my different abilities and throw pity parties, beat myself up, humiliate myself like those in the world would do for someone like me. I simply embrace it and encourage everybody, even if you look like me or not, or not like me. Hey, do what's best for you. What you have to offer may not be the same thing that somebody else have to offer. What matters is that you're doing what you enjoy doing. And truly, I enjoy showing my journey. I enjoy embracing who I am, because if I didn't learn to embrace who I was, I wouldn't be able to be here telling you guys my story today. So be encouraged to love on people that's differently abled, to encourage those that are differently abled, to walk with us. You may not physically understand or able to conceptualize what we go through, but sometimes simply asking, are you okay? Mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, are you okay? And give us the time and the chance to actually answer you in our most vulnerable state. A lot of the times, our people, and I'm not just talking about our family, society as well, they be so busy laughing that they don't even understand that internally we're crying from frustration, looking different, being in a category, in one category, and everybody that they consider normal in another category. Society don't even know how to deal with us for real, but we're learning how to deal with society in spite of our limitations, and that's hard. Every day I'm striving to be a teacher, but I'm not too good to be taught. I have been teaching people since I was able to talk, read, and write, and that was at the age of 2. And it started with me simply having to encourage myself. Being a person born into a family that knew nothing about disabilities, I had to encourage myself to be strong enough to encourage and educate them on what it's like to support somebody like me. You know, oftentimes they get frustrated, they feel discouraged, they feel depleted because they don't know what's the right thing to do. How do you support someone in this state, considering the fact that we've never had to deal with it? How do you talk to somebody that's going through this when you don't even have the words to truly say? And I'm one of those people. I'm a risk taker. Say what comes to mind and allow me to respond the way that it is deemed in me to respond. Stop trying to respond for me. Just like I'm sitting here sharing my story with you guys, I do this with everybody. It started at home, but then I learned it has to go on in society as well. Meeting people that have different abilities like myself, whether it's physical or mental, has taught me that I truly wasn't the only one not living bold in my disability. It was so many other people. I constantly get asked questions like, how are you allowing people to see you um, with special equipment or supplies just to be able to learn how to walk? And truthfully, if I'm not open and vulnerable enough to show you guys what it takes to do what it is that I'm trying to do, then I'm not doing it right. I tell people all the time, my journey started from the bottom. So for me, the tallest I've ever stood was on my hands and my knees before God gave me the strength to stand on my 2 feet. So every chance I get, I encourage people, keep going. Y'all complaining about pain this day, pain that day. I'm in pain every day, but you're not going to find me complaining about the pain that I'm feeling every day. You might hear me say, oh, my back hurt, but okay. And everything else hurt too, but what you gonna do? You gonna sit there and cry about it? Or are you going to get up and do something about it? And for me, I got up and I did something about it. I got up and I did something about it because if I didn't do anything about it, who would? Nobody can help me become a better me but me. And I had to be okay with fighting the good fight of faith. And with the good fight of faith, I can honestly tell you guys that my body went from a 90-degree angle, for those that know what it looks like. And for those that doesn't, my body was shaped in the form of my wheelchair. And a neurologist told me, what, maybe 8 years ago, oh, it's nothing that we can do for you. It's nothing that we could do for you. He wrote a script for me to get another wheelchair, and I left out of there so defeated, or at least I felt like I was defeated. And I'm just like, okay, I guess it's my time to give up on trying to walk because of what he gave me. The words that he's spoken to me. I'm not going to say what he gave me. The words that he's spoken to me. And at that particular time, I was so mentally damaged and discouraged where I believed him. I believed him more than I believed what God had already told me was for me. And the day that I went and got fitted for my wheelchair, the lady asked me, she said, "Have you thought about doing physical therapy?" And I looked at her like she had said a curse word to me or something. And, she said, "Have you thought about it?" And I said, "Why are you asking me that?" And the doctor that wrote this very script told me it was nothing that they could do for me. She said, "No, that's not true. You may have to do a lot of work, but it can be done." And at that point, I said, okay, if it's in God's will, I'm gonna allow him to have his way. And he has truly had his way with me since 2013, 14. I believe it was 13. But he has truly had his way with me. And it's truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing for me to be able to walk into what he said was for me. But it's also a blessing to be able to show all of you up close in person what I have to go through on a daily basis, the things that I have to do in order to be strong. So I say all of this to say, if I can survive a pandemic after overdosing and not die, you can do the same thing. Don't be too discouraged to where you can't find courage to rise above anything that you have been through. Keep God ahead of you, and anything that's behind you don't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Yes, sometimes I cry. Of course, not on camera. I I cry behind the scenes. But even in my crying, I still praise God, and I thank him for where I am now. It's not about where I've been. Yes, I can share my story about where I've been, but it's not about that. It's where I am now. That simply encourages me to go further. And like I said, you may not have a physical ability or a mental ability. I mean, you could just be going through something and you feel like you're not enough. Understand that you are enough, and sometimes you just have to do what's enough for you. Don't worry about how everybody else look at you. Don't worry about what everybody else around you is doing. Worry about what you are doing. Because let me tell you, when I focused on what everybody around me was doing, God wouldn't allow me to see what I could do because I was too busy worried about everybody else. And once I got the taste of worrying just only about me and solely, like I said, he began to open doors, present me with opportunities that I used to say I was once not good enough for, even in a crisis. This is why I'm sharing this stuff with you guys. Even in a crisis, he has truly blessed me. He blessed me in ways that, scare my enemies. He's scaring them so bad that that they won't even like a post. They won't even comment on it or anything. And even in that, I still smile. I still gracefully do what he has called me to do. And I'm gonna tell y'all today, sometimes your biggest enemies are the people you share the same blood with. So be careful. He didn't say they couldn't watch. He said they wouldn't praise you. But I'm gonna tell you this too. I don't look for validation from the world at all. All my validation comes from the man above. And when he validated me and he called me, that's all that mattered to me. Is what he had called me to do. So I had to learn, me trying to commit suicide or OD. That wasn't the call that he had upon my life. That wasn't the call he had upon my life. So, like I said before, he crowned me before he cleaned me. When he cleaned me, he showed me that I was free. You are free of all the things that you have held yourself captive to that wasn't of me. So let your light shine bright, even in the darkest spaces. And I am a living witness of knowing what it's like to be in a dark space. Here I am talking to y'all about the tallest I've stood was on my hands and my knees. I remember being in those dark spaces where I was trying to climb out of those dark holes. And because I didn't have as much strength in my feet, I wasn't able to come up out of them. And he told, crawl anyway. Crawl. And I promise y'all, it's a scripture in the Bible, and here I am. I'm not going to quote it very much or anything like that because I don't know the Bible. It's just in my belly. Um, it's the scripture where Mephibosheth was speaking, um, or maybe he wasn't speaking. Someone was speaking on his behalf. He had to crawl his way out of some things. And when I tell you, I know all about crawling my way out of some things and out of some spaces. I know all about it. But crawling my way to victory was the best thing that I could have ever did because now I'm walking in my victory. My victory is who I am, not what I've been through, but simply who I decided to become, even through all of my storms and my struggles. My victory overpowers all of it. And if I can overcome it, each and every one of y'all that's on here watching, commenting, and all of that, you can do the same thing. Whether you're a person with a physical disability or a mental disability, live your life, spread your wings, and give all your problems and your struggles to God. I promise you, He can handle it better than you. He handled it for me. And for that, I am so grateful. And I'm glad to be able to be speaking in front of all of you to let you guys know I survived a crisis. Even while I was in a crisis, I survived it. I survived it. You just have to pick your oil. And sometimes you don't even have to pick it. You're blessed with it. You just have to learn how to walk in it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm walking in it. I'm walking in my victory. So just encourage somebody else today. Encourage somebody else today. You know, you may be one of those people that don't really like talking out in public or being out in society very much. But just go outside, feel some earthly wind, allow God to talk to you while you out there, and just encourage somebody. You can even say, "Hey, how are you? Is there anything I could do to help you?" And that matters all the time. It's the small things. It's not the big ones. It's not the big ones. It's the small ones. So take every small victory and make it big within you. You don't even have to make it big for the world. Make it big for within you. And anything that you can do, God can do 5 times more. He can do 5 times more. So I'm telling you guys, live bold, live free, and be free indeed. I am happy. I am happy that I turned it over to Him and said, I can't do it by myself. So let me allow Him to be the head of my life and allow Him to do it for me, because that's what matters. That's truly what matters. So listen, sometimes you have to recrown yourself and pick the crown up that fell. Pick it up that fell and straighten it out.
Hello.
That's all you got to do.
Hello.
I want to.
After the show.
Oh, she's talking, you guys. Give me 1 second. I am a positive influencer for my community at large. And I'm not going to say that I'm an advocate for any particular person. I'm an advocate for everyone. Whether you're walking, talking, not talking, can't see, can see, using a walker, wheelchair. I'm advocating for everybody because honestly, we all have a disability or of some sort, and you may have not even been diagnosed. So just be careful um, when you pointing fingers and laughing at somebody like myself, because what you have to know is it's like three or four of them pointing back at you. Check yourself first. I mean, when I tell you I have got the most cruelest things said to me from people in society and even some people in my family, and they didn't even realize you got some stuff pointing back at you too. You know, I am so open and honest with the things that I have been through, the things that I am going through, that anything that someone has to say with my name attached to it, I smile. And sometimes I think about it. Was I around when this conversation was had? Majority of the time I wasn't. Majority of the time I wasn't. But you know what God taught me? He said, I heard the conversations that you didn't. So for
That's
every
it.
conversation you didn't hear, for every
That's it.
conversation you didn't hear,
That's it.
for every conversation you didn't hear, I'm going to place your name in rooms that they have no idea that I'm putting there. So he's preparing tables before me that's bigger than anything that anybody has ever had to say about me. Bigger than anything that anybody has ever said about me or preparing to say about me. As long as he and with him having the last say, it's nobody else that can come against it. Not even a little bit. Can you still hear me? It's staticky. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. It's a little staticky on my end. That's why I was asking. I
Oh, okay.
definitely want to, yeah, I definitely want to leave a little room for you to ask any questions that you may want to ask, um, for me to answer head on.
Okay. Okay. So I love everything you said. Such a powerful, powerful testimony. It's not your time. Your purpose on here has not completely been fulfilled yet. So God has some amazing things that He's going to do in your life. That's why He
Yes.
did not allow you to leave this earth when you took that overdose. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful. No one was home. No one was home. So, you know, this was all God, truly all God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's how God works. Baby, listen, you did that, but I'm gonna allow you to survive this because I need for you, Brion, to share this testimony and share the glory of God and how God has
Mm-hmm.
healed me and did not let
Mm-hmm.
me die. Because it could have been a different story or no story at all. Your family would
Mm-hmm.
be sharing the story or saying one day I came home and she was not living. She was unconscious on the floor, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not your story. And the enemy
Amen.
is so dangerous and so conniving and deceitful that the enemy can see you doing so many great things. And like you said, your body was formed differently because not only do you have CP, but you have scoliosis. So when you have scoliosis, your body can be shaped different. And you said your body was
Mm-hmm.
shaped like your wheelchair, but the doctor didn't. He said no because he didn't understand. Sometimes you could get these doctors that don't understand these conditions, and when they don't understand the condition and how to help, they will reject you with words
Mhm.
that can hurt and words that can have you confused because you're supposed to be the doctor. So
Mhm.
why are you denying me or saying nothing is going to work when clearly I know it is because I feel it in my soul? So you
Mhm.
felt that thing in your soul and in your spirit, and
It was
you were
nothing but the
ready.
enemy. It was nothing but the enemy.
Right. So what the enemy does is what I was going to say. He will sometimes not kill you, but he will deform or make something happen that would affect your life. But he couldn't even
Mhm.
be God at that moment. He couldn't even do that.
Mhm.
So that wasn't even
Mhm.
in his place. And I know he was mad. And to see you now and where you're
Mhm.
going, you're reaching your destiny. You're
Mhm.
getting there. So God is preparing you and has prepped you in a way where you are going to help so many people mentally, physically, and spiritually, where
Mhm.
they can continue to grow and keep giving them hope to live, hope to push. If you want to walk, do something about it. If you got the
Mhm.
mind to go to therapy and you want to walk, go do it. My body was shaped
Mhm.
different. Look at me now. Have you seen my video where I'm walking? My body not shaped like that wheelchair anymore. Like you said, it
Mhm.
takes work. That therapist, thank God for that therapist. Thank
Mhm.
God that you came across her path so she could tell you something different. Yes, you can, sweetheart. It's going to take some work. And if you are willing to put in the work, then you can make this change for yourself in your life. And that's what you have
Mhm.
done and continue to do. I am so excited, so proud of you. I love your courage, your energy, your persistence to want change for yourself.
Mhm.
Nobody can do it but you. Nobody can't make you do it. You could talk all day long. I want to walk. I need to change this. People can hear you, but nobody's going to do it but Brianna. And because you have that will to want to do it, and because someone
Mhm.
showed you that you can do it, you stepped into it. That there is powerful, and that there is what everybody needs to hear. If you have a desire to do something, go for it. Find a way and do it. Find a way and
Mhm.
do it. Girl, you got me excited over here now. You got me
Listen.
excited. Man, God is so awesome. Thank God for you.
Yes, when God is ahead of your life, He, like I said, there's nothing behind you that you need to look forward to. It's what's ahead of you that you need to pay more attention to.
Yes.
So, when I stepped into that mentality, it's not about what's behind me; it's what's ahead of me,
Mm-hmm.
and allow Him to truly lead my life. He has led me into doing things that, like I said, so many people told me I wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
He has allowed me opportunities to be everything and do everything that people said that I couldn't or wouldn't do or be. So I give him praise always, always. And it's nothing in this world or nobody in this world that will ever be able to stop the light that he allowed to shine within me.
Yes.
Nothing or nobody.
Yes.
So I like I said, I'm so comfortable with telling my naked truth
Yeah.
that nothing else matters to me. And I really enjoy telling my story because what the devil thought he stole, God said I'm restoring.
I'm restoring. I'm giving
So,
it back to you and allowing you to step in it and keep going. I got some
mhm,
work for you, sister, daughter, queen. I got some work for you to do. I need you to show some other folks some things. So, you were saying a lot of things, and you were saying in the beginning, uh, people ask questions, and it's okay to ask questions, but give me a chance to answer. Don't be so
mhm,
fast to want something so quick. Give me a chance to answer. And we had a conversation before, me and some other moms, and all of us are quick to tell that we were not educated or given a manual when we were told that our daughter or son has a disability or
Mhm.
will have or has a disability where they won't be able to walk, where they won't be able to talk, where they won't be able to sit up, where they won't be able to do this, won't be able to do that, won't be every day for a person like myself, given a diagnosis of your child at an infant age, was not easy to take. But because God allowed Kelly to live, in my mind, all I knew to do without a manual, and we have all this. We have social media, internet. We have all of that stuff. We had the phone book and the yellow pages and the white pages. We had to, you know, go through pages. So we
Mhm.
have to learn every day how to care for our individual, how to care for our babies. And then they
Mhm.
get toddlers. And then they grow from toddlers to the what's the next stage after toddler? Whatever. I don't even know what they call that stage. But then you get the tweens and the teens and then the young adults and the adults and motherhood and all, life changes. So every day we learn. We learn that our child, as they grow, we realize, okay, they don't have a voice. Okay, so we got to learn to be that voice. How do we learn these things? We learn these things by paying attention. We pay attention.
Absolutely.
And when you pay attention to the everyday care, everyday movements, and their actions, that's how we learn how to care for our individuals. We learn
Mhm.
how to better move forward with whether we need to advocate or not, and
Mhm.
be able to teach them certain things. And if they're able to understand, help them to understand what's going on with their situation, and this is the condition you have, and explain those things to them. Even though Kelly may and may not understand certain things, I still explain it to her because I want her to know what's going on. That's her life. I'm
Of
just her
course.
mother and her advocate. I speak when she can't speak, you know.
Mhm.
So that's how we learn about our individuals. So the parents
Mhm.
um, do not come with that, education.
Mhm.
Um, girl, we talked, but you sparked so much more. And I'm so excited that you're confident. I'm excited that you're comfortable. I'm excited that you learned to love Brion, so
Mhm.
Brion can walk into that purpose that God has set before her. God knew before you knew. God knew when you were in your mom's womb what would happen with Brion. So God knows moving forward how to prepare you each and every day along your journey. And you see
Mhm.
each individual thing. So the crawling part. So a lot of times, I mean, most of the time we got to crawl before you walk. Some of these,
Absolutely.
yeah. So you talked about that crawling part, and crawl right on into it. Just get on in there. Get on in there. Girl, you got me so excited over here. So I wrote down something. Oh, did I say that part already? Educate the family. Educate the family. So once you get older, and the family don't know, friends don't know, of course society don't know a lot of this stuff if they're not connected to individuals or people that have some type of condition, or diagnosis of a disability. We
Mhm.
I like to say different ability because everybody's different in their own unique way.
Mhm.
So society has to be educated, friends have to be educated, and family members have to be educated. And by that, your growth is we have to share that with them. Because if we don't, they won't know. I
Mhm.
had to learn on my own because Kelly is not able to say, Mama, you need to know this. Mama, you need to learn this. But her actions show me this without her speaking it. Without her speaking it, her actions show that. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned to listen and hear through her journey, you know. Um,
And even with you saying that, I know that Kelly appreciates you for opening up your ear gates to hear her and not what you think she needs. Because a lot of people lack that as well. You're so busy trying to tell me what I need that when I'm telling you what I need, you don't even know how to provide it because you're not willing to ask those uncomfortable questions. You can't tell me what I need if you're not in the same predicament as me.
right.
Let me tell you what I need.
Hmm.
Allow me that chance and that time to be vulnerable enough to sit in your lap or let you hold me and cry and tell you what I need.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
a lot of the times people don't know how to feel. They don't know how to feel the unknown. They're so
Hmm.
used to feeling their conditions that the unknown is scary.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And for me, I'm not my conditions. I'm not my limitations. I see beyond that. So
Hmm.
because I see beyond that, I'm able to open myself up to so many other things, like I said, that God has for me. It's not only me that I have to listen to.
Right.
I even had to learn that my mother didn't know what she was doing.
Hmm.
She had never raised anyone with a disability. So all of the times that I was frustrated with her for not knowing, I had to remind myself that when those around you lack education, you lack education too. Because see, all you know is how to be you and how to bring people into your world. You don't know how to step into theirs because you're too busy trying to teach people how to step into your world. I had to bring myself into her world and understand, Brion, you didn't come with a manual.
Right.
All
That's
the
good.
time that, you know, my mom carried me for 6.5 months. For 6.5 months, they told her everything was okay.
Hmm.
It was at birth where God decided to change me for her. And, it taught me sometimes you got to get comfortable with asking your mother or your siblings or anybody that's around you and helping with, you know, the help that you need. How are
Right.
you doing? While you're helping me carry dead weight and teaching me how to do things more independently for myself, I may be feeling like I'm at the bottom of the barrel, but how do you feel in
Hmm.
this process? What is it that you feel?
Hmm.
And of course, I was too young at the time to know that or conceptualize the fact that I needed to ask her how she felt in those moments because I was able to talk.
Right. Right.
Um, so as I got older, I remember, I reminded myself, I said, have that one-on-one talk with your mom. Let your mom know that everything wasn't her fault and
Mm.
she didn't know everything.
Hmm.
You didn't know right from wrong when it came to me. Who on God's green earth would have thought that she would have had to have a child that had 35 operations before the age of 12? So let me tell y'all on here too, get y'all some numbers. And I'm talking about the numbers from the Bible because every number I call out, it'll tell a story for you. And it'll tell a story from the Bible. You just got to get you some numbers. And I'm telling you, I said, you know what? I said, let's pull back the cover, not only on what I've been through, but the things that I had taken her through mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Having to see your child go through
Hmm.
and go up under the knife so many times before they hit the age of 12, you know, I didn't think about the things that she was battling. I remember one time, and my mother wasn't the type of woman, I'm going to allow my babies to see me cry. I'm going to allow them to see me down. No, that wasn't her. But the first time, and I was very young, the first time I ever heard my mom say, I don't know why y'all expect me to sit here and watch my baby suffer in pain and she can't take medicine by mouth. I said, okay. It spoke volumes to me. She couldn't watch me bear the pain that I had to bear. She couldn't watch it. And although she couldn't watch it, it was just, I really didn't know I could bear it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're watching it, but I'm bearing it. And I feel like had she been taught the right things to say even in those moments, the situations and the circumstances that we were up against would have been different. But I'm no longer upset with her for the lack of knowing.
The lack of knowledge.
Yes,
Mm.
I'm no longer upset with her about it. All the things she taught me, whether I felt like they was right or wrong, it was to prepare me for what she had, instilled in me, and what God had prepared before me. Because he prepared the tables before he even put me in my mother's womb. He knew what it was going to be.
That's right.
He said, and I'm going to give it to her. For she's one of my sheeps, and she got to bring the rest of my people back to me. He chose me. And when you are chosen, it's not about the struggles that you had to endure. It's not about the scars. It's not about none of that. With everything that I've been through, I still look good.
Yes, girl.
Inside and out, I still look good. I don't look like what I've been through. So, I don't know how many people on here listen to gospel music, but it's the song you he sent me through the fire, but I didn't come out burned. I didn't come out burned. I may have a couple of scars to show proof that I had the surgeries that I'm speaking about, but everything else that was supposed to take me out, it left no scars.
Mm-hmm.
It left no scars. He tells me all the time.
Girl, that there? No,
Listen,
girl, that's God with you all the way.
mm-hmm. He told me. He said, soar. That's all you need to do. And I don't ever forget to roar like the lion that I am. Even in my struggles. I'm doing physical therapy 2 days a week. And I tell people it's not easy, but the pain is so worth it. And then I know after 45 minutes to an hour of them stretching me out and working me out, I can go home.
Girl, you
I can
said
go
the
home.
pain is so worth it. The pain is worth you getting to where you need to be. So if it takes me to ache every day, I will ache because God knows I'm going to get to where I want to be. My destiny is awaiting me, and that pain could come because I'm going to keep conquering and I want to get there. Girl, you better shut up. Girl.
Yes, listen.
My God.
Listen. He said he told me, he said, you wasn't specific about how you wanted to get there. You just said you wanted to get there. And I had to get comfortable with telling him, if it's in your will, have your way. I don't know the way, but you do. You know the way.
My God.
So if only you know the way, show it to me.
Girl, that's
show
deep.
it to me.
Man.
Yes. And he truly had to show it to me in a crisis. So again, when we talk about surviving a pandemic, being differently abled, like, adjust your crown and do it differently because you're abled.
Adjust that crown. No, straighten that crown up, boo. Like straight. It's tilted a little bit. Just straighten it up and keep going. Y'all hear this? She said 35 surgeries, but she has no scars. She took an overdose during the pandemic. Nobody was home, but look at her now. It wasn't her time. God awaits her. Her destiny awaits her. All victory and all glory goes to God. Thank God for loving her so much. The enemy couldn't even beat that. He had no place on that part. No place on that part. Girl,
Listen.
Girl, you gotta
listen now. We can have church on this show here now. We can have church. But listen, to God be the glory. To God be the glory.
Yeah.
Even in my tears. He tells me all the time, Don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a God thing. Because anything I bring you to, I'm going to bring you through. He
If
said,
I
for every
allow it, I'm
scar,
allow you to get out of it. Girl, come on.
hmm
Come
he
on.
told me, he said, for the scars that you have, I'm going to show you how much of a star you are. So I was looking at it in the wrong light for a long time. I said, Lord, I didn't know I was supposed to look at myself as a star. I was too busy focusing on the scars, nah, because what made you choose me? And he showed me and he told me there was nobody strong enough like you to bear the pain and the fruit of the labor that I'm getting ready to put in you. He said, your labor is not in vain. I said, okay. I
Your
said,
labor not in vain, honey. Come on.
from his mouth to my ears, from his mouth to my ears. And I thank him. I thank him. When I tell you, I don't even know how to swim. Let me tell you, but he ain't gonna let me drown.
You better say so, honey. He did it
He
on
ain't
this
gonna let
time.
me
He's not going to
drown.
do it. That's right.
So
Woo,
I can't
honey.
complain. I can't complain. I like I told you before, I have to give it all to him. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth. That's the question I had to ask
What made
myself
me choose you?
daily.
That right there. You said it. Like, what made you choose me? What made you choose?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I shared a message with a friend of mine yesterday. I recorded. I was in my kitchen the other day, and God just reminded me of something. And this you made me think of this because God will prepare you for the storm, even
Mm-hmm.
when you don't know it's a storm, but God knows you're about to go into a storm. So this was my message. I recorded this so I can remember because God made me remember this. God will
Mm-hmm.
prepare you for a storm, even when you don't know it's a storm. But God knows you're about to go in a storm, so He will make so you have everything you need, and you are prepared to sustain that storm. It may not be pretty, it may not be easy. You may have some tears, you may lose some friends, you may lose family. People going to talk about you, laugh at you, ridicule you, all these things.
And they did all of those things when
God
it came to
knew.
me. They did all of those things when it came to me.
Mm,
And when I tell you now, God has given me the opportunity to gracefully, I don't have to laugh, but just smile. You
yeah,
make people sick when you smile. Because see, what they thought you was going to be, it's not even half of what I'm creating you to be.
tell you, girl.
So,
Mm.
when he taught me that I am not my
Nikki
different
said we got her
abilities.
shouting in her office. I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
Nikki.
I'm I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I had to tell my naked truth. I
Yeah,
had to tell my naked truth.
well,
And I
Nikki
promise
said,
you
come on
guys,
now.
you guys will hear and learn more about my story and my journey and how I got to where I am now and where he's getting ready to take me. I will say in the next 90 days, he said decree and declare. The next 90 days, he getting ready to do something big. And I receive it in his name always. And I say amen
Amen.
every time,
Amen.
every time.
Amen.
So
Amen.
listen,
This is
believe in
powerful.
yourself,
This is powerful.
believe in yourself, and know that you can achieve anything that the enemy told you you couldn't. Attach that yes to God, and He'll show you what He can do every time. Stop giving the enemy
Try to tell you
power.
you can't do something.
That's why I said stop giving the enemy power. Because when we give him power, we walking into those I can'ts. Before we get off of here, I'm gonna tell y'all what God told me.
Yeah, and I have something I want to ask you too. So go ahead.
Yes, he told me. He said turn your hurt into healing.
That part, DJ. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Listen, and that's so true. He said turn your hurt into healing Your
Mhm.
pain, your pain into progress. And
Mhm.
every time I think about that, he said, and turn your tears into a story.
Mhm.
He's tell a story.
Yeah.
Give them a story. So when they look at you, they really understand what they're looking at. I am a masterpiece
That's right.
with different abilities. I
Yeah.
am a masterpiece. And I believe everything he told me. Everything he told me. And once I've started believing everything he told me, it was nothing that the enemy could strip from me. You know,
You know.
I want to tell whoever is watching this,
Mhm.
turn your tears into a testimony. He told me to turn my tears into a story, turn yours into a testimony. For
Yes.
every tear you cried, he put a testimony behind every drop. For all the pain that you have had to feel, he said, put a praise behind it.
Mm.
For all the hurt that you had to feel, put some humor behind it.
Mm.
Because you're already healed. Put some
That's
humor
right.
behind it.
That's right.
Put some humor behind it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I am going to close it out with saying this. And I honestly can't even see how many people are on here. God wants me to tell you all. Just because you heard my story don't mean you know all of me.
Me too, bro. That's not true.
You guys are more than welcome to send me a friend request on Facebook so that you guys can continue to watch my journey and learn a little more about my story. But it ain't all on Facebook. It isn't all on Facebook. I'm just letting you in on a little bit. But following me is worth the follow, I promise you. I love each and every one of you for coming on here and listening and giving your feedbacks and everything. I look forward to be receiving a bunch of friend requests and more people to connect to.
Yes. Yes. So I didn't get to ask her the questions I want to, because guess what? She got to complete that journey. She get ready to go to physical therapy. Okay. So nothing's going to stop her, not even Edwina Wilson. All right. So we're going to bring Brion back on and let her finish, because we got some questions that will bless your soul. And with her answers, because I got these questions here and I had to write them down to remember here. Y'all hear that here? I know y'all. I get so tickled.
So you calling me back for a part two. It's
I'm calling
okay.
you back for
I,
part two. You heard that, right?
I'm letting God use me. You know this. I'm letting him
Yeah,
use me, and he's
yes,
going to use me the way he see fit.
yes, yes. Listen, I'm gonna be here for a minute. If anybody want to come on and join me to do like a follow up on this conversation, let me know right now. Just say me, and I will send you the link so you can join me and we could talk about this conversation while Brion head on to therapy. And she'll be listening. She'll be listening. She just can't stay live.
Absolutely.
She just can't stay live with us. But this here, man, was a blessing. I appreciate you. And uh Nikki said, bless both of you. Thank you for the powerful message. It was right on time. Wow. That's what we always say. What I say, Brian, you never know who's listening, who your story can help. You don't know. Or who it would be on time for.
Yes.
Somebody out there going to need somebody's message. And somebody is going through something that need to hear somebody's message. And I always say that with my caregivers gala. And I'm gonna let you go with my caregivers gala. I always believe that when we bring people to the caregivers, when you show up, because every caregiver shares something, your story, testimony, or message can help somebody else out there listening in the audience. We never know who's going through what. But I solely believe during my caregivers gala that somebody message is going to lift them up, motivate, encourage, or inspire, or let someone know I can't give up. Because if she's going through that and dealt with that and is here now and has changed all that, I can do it too. And that's what I always believe
Absolutely.
in my caregivers gala. Because the mommies and the daddies and the caregivers go through just as much. Because if it wasn't for us and to help you all, where would you be? And I'm that mommy
Mhm.
that don't walk away from my child, you know, and it's a lot of us. It's a lot.
Mhm.
So, Brion, thank you so much. I'm grateful. Thank you for the conversations we've had, the chats we had. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Kelly said thank you.
Of course.
You keep being a blessing. You keep sharing and letting the world see that at one point I was this or this, and she say shaped like her wheelchair, but now I'm like this. God allowed me because somebody came into my life and said yes you can, because the doctors don't always have the answers, the right answers. They reject you because they really don't know. that's why
Mhm.
that's why these doctors reject you, because they don't know. They don't know. But thank God for your
Mhm.
sweetheart. Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day. I know we'll be talking later anyway, but thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have an awesome, amazing therapy. Keep sharing the videos. Keep taking those moments, because that is going to help somebody else. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
totally agree.
Thank
Okay,
you so much. I truly appreciate it.
absolutely.
Make sure that you tag me in it so everyone know where to find me on Facebook, and we can definitely discuss part two if we will.
Oh, honey, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. I can go back to work now. Thank you, ladies. Well, I'm so glad, Nikki, you showed up and this, helped in some way, So we appreciate everybody. They are both powerful queens. Latrice, thank you. Um, I'm gonna be here, Latrice. If you want to come on and share your journey about your son, that would be awesome too. So, y'all, thanks, Brion. You have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you. And I'll tag you in this video.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so
All
much.
right. All right, dear. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Y'all, do I need to say anything more? I, 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 I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Nikki said I got to go back. Go back to work. But I'm gonna post this message that Nikki. I want the video to end with this, because that's what Brion said. I want that to be on the video. But she said during the pandemic, I took an overdose of pills, but it didn't kill me. Glory be to God. All honor and glory to God. Only God could do something like that. Save you from overdosing. And nobody home? Nobody home? Listen, listen, that's nobody but God. DJ say speechless. Nobody but God. Not only that, she had 35 surgeries and have no scars. What? What? I received that, Latrice. I received that. We shared it, but let's share again in case there's somebody out here that did not hear. Yes, I appreciate that. Let's get together and talk about that. DJ said a bottle and a half. A bottle of pills, right? Mhm. So, God is just amazing. God can only do those things that can keep us and save us from destruction. Her journey is not over. That was not her story or her family story. Her story is what she's doing now. Finding the confidence and boldness to be naked truth, to tell the naked truth, is what she says, to tell the naked truth. So she had to learn from her trials and decisions and choices she made in life to want to give up. And that's why I wanted to do COVID, all things COVID, the pandemic. I forgot to put the disability in the disability community because, DJ, I said back in January, February, I wanted to do the conference was going to be all things COVID, the pandemic in the disability community. And that's what I talked about with doing the conference this year. I was going to do a couple of days, but then I decided I'm going to just do one day only, just a few people, because sometimes we can have those stories that could run over. And I want to give time for everybody. So, and I wanted people, the individuals that has not spoken yet, to be our guests today. So we will be back on. I'm gonna close out and come back in a few minutes and bring DJ on, and DJ going to talk all things COVID, the pandemic as well, and then share a story also. This will be on. Um, this show here will also be on Fire TV and well, I just lose my thought. Roku. So we will send the link with that once it's uploaded, and it will be on demand, so you all be able to, view that at any given time as well. Um, was she amazing or what? Confident, calm, spoken like she been doing this forever. But that's how God does things. He would turn your world around and have you walking like a queen, like you never thought you would walk like before. This honey said was what she did was make a decision because she wanted to walk, but she wanted her body to be straight. So though it's pain in doing that, her wanting to walk is letting her know it's okay to be in pain because I want this. So I'll take the pain for my walking. I'll take the pain because you allowed me to walk. That's what she's doing. That's powerful. But I'm going to put it back on this 30 days because these are her words. The next 90 days, decree and declare. That's what she said. Y'all have a blessed day. I will be back in a few minutes and we will continue on with our next guest. And then I'm going to take a break and come back at 5 o'clock p.m. for my next show. All right. Y'all take care. Be right back for our next show. We coming up with DJ Carter. Take care.